evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dalsan TV, Somalia's premier station for news and updates. I'm your presenter, Ifrah Noor. Let's hear the top stories that made our headlines for the day. Somalia Disaster Agency dispatches tons of aids to flood-ridden Beledweyne. Clashes resurface between Somaliland SS Khartoum forces in Soul's Yele region. Southwest State President champions for completion of Constitution and NCC agreement. And finally, two Al-Shabaab link the elders' surrender to Somali military forces. Welcome back, dear viewers. Let's delve into the full bulletin. Tuesday saw the arrival of first aid supplies for those affected by flooding in Beledweyne town as the Shebele River overflowed its banks as a result of the region's intense El Nino rainfall. According to the Somali Disaster Management Agency, a plane carrying 7 tons of relief has been sent to Beledweyne. In the next several hours, 3 more planes with more food supplies will be dispatched to the town.
Tuesday saw the arrival of the first aid supplies for those affected by flooding in Beledweyne town, as the Shebele River overflowed its banks as a result of the region's intense El Nino rainfall. According to Somali Disaster Management Agency, a plane carrying 7 tons of relief has been sent to Beledweyne. Abdullah Ahmed Maalim Sufuru, governor of the Iran region who received the donation at the Ugaz Khalifa airport, stressed that the needs of the many people impacted by the floods and rains cannot be met by 1 or 2 food-carrying planes. Due to the El Nino weather phenomena, the Horn of Africa is suffering severe rains and flooding. This has resulted in numerous deaths and widespread displacement, particularly in Somalia, where rains have wrecked bridges and submerged residential areas. Extreme weather events are happening more frequently and intensely in the Horn of Africa, which is one of the most areas vulnerable to climate change. Human organizations have expressed concern that the situation will only become worse and have demanded immediate international action, given El Nino is predicted to persist until at least April 2024.
Fierce fighting broke out between Somaliland and SSA Khartoum forces this morning in the Baika area of Soul's Yele region, signifying a major intensification of the ongoing conflict. The reported intensity of the fighting is high, but confirmation of the precise locations and the number of casualties on both sides is still pending. Our reporter has more on the story.
Fierce fighting broke out between Somaliland and the SSC Khartoum forces this morning in Bisika area of the Soul's Yele region, signifying a major intensification of the ongoing conflict. The reported intensity of the fighting is high, but confirmation of the precise locations and the number of casualties on both sides is still pending. The battle started after a village of Bogdarkane was set on fire by the SSC Khartoum forces. This was purportedly done as a payback for the people from Bogdarkane who were suspected of killing villagers in a nearby eastern area. SSC Khartoum leaders demanded peace in the wake of the attack, but some leaders in Somaliland have rejected these overtures. These battles are part of a string recent confrontation between the forces of the SSC Khartoum and Somaliland, especially in Yaile and Bogdarkane regions, which have been long flashpoints of tensions between the two parties. The Soul, Senag and Buhodle community forces have backed the Somaliland forces in recent.
President Abdulaziz Hassan Mohamed Lafgaren, state president of the Southwest Regional State, publicly supported the completion of Somalia's constitution and the implementation of the National Consultative Council's agreement in Baidoa on May 27, 2023.
President Abdulaziz Hassan Mohamed Lafgaren, state president of the Southwest Regional State, publicly supported the completion of Somalia's constitution and the implementation of the National Consultative Council agreement in Baidoa on May 27, 2023. The state president emphasized that everyone's duty to change the political landscape of the nation during a meeting between the regional and federal lawmakers elected from the Southwest states. The country's presidential system was endorsed in May of the previous year by the National Consultative Council, which included federal leaders like President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre, Deputy Prime Minister Saleh Ahmed Jama, 4 regional leaders, and the Mayor of Mogadishu. The country's presidential system was endorsed in May this year by the National Consultative Council, which include federal leaders like President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre, and his deputy Saleh Ahmed Jama, and all the 4 regional leaders and the Mayor of Mogadishu. The leaders also agreed to unify the elections schedules and introduce direct elections as early as next year. The regional parliamentary and regional leadership elections are scheduled for November 30th of the same year after local council elections of June 30th of the following year in accordance with the National Consultative Council agreements. Nevertheless, a number of well-known politicians such as former Prime Minister and President Sheikh Sharif oppose the agreements and the Somali Parliament's obligation to uphold the nation's laws, the Constitution and Parliament's bylaws.
And finally, dear viewers, two traditional elders, Ali Magani and Ahmed Galaf, who had been collaborating with Al-Shabaab militants, surrendered to Somali army forces in the Galgudud region on Tuesday, officials say.
Earlier this week, two Somali elders, Ali Magani and Ahmed Galaf, who collaborated with Al-Shabaab militants, surrendered to Somali army force in Galgudud. He was one of the elders recently buried by the group in Oswain village in the Galgudud region. According to the Somali national television, Ahmed Ali Gadaf used to work with the group to extract livestock from the residents of Oswain village. Ali Magani, who have been affiliated with the group for some time, served as traditional elder responsible for collecting livestock bribes from his clan's members, despite surviving multiple attacks by local force. Magani continued his involvement with the insurgent group. On Tuesday, President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud announced that his government has set a one-year deadline to expel the Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab militant group from the country. This comes as the headline for the remaining African Union peacekeepers to leave Loms next December. Since 2006, the Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab has been conducting brutal insurgencies against the Somali government, seeking to establish its role based on a strict interpretation of Islam.
Dear viewers, that's all we have prepared for you today. Kindly stay connected to Dalsan TV's platforms and we wish you a lovely evening.